Stories you live and stories you tell often become the guiding force for you in times of trouble. Welcome to Thank God It's a Story Saturday, a weekly video series where I share stories with you that you can use to make your messages connect. In Singapore, where I live, school holidays have just started. And when school holidays start, I often have a reminder on my calendar, do a family story, something that families can watch together. So today's story is a family story. The story that I'm going to tell you today, I partly learned about that story from Richard Branson's book called The Virgin Way, and partly from a documentary called Don't Look Down, which is the story behind Richard Branson's 2 attempts to make a world record in hot air balloon flying. So the story starts with Richard and his mother Eve. Let me tell you a little bit about Eve Branson, Richard Branson's mother, who died this year in January due to post-COVID-19 complications. Now, Eve Branson was an adventurous woman. She was one of the first few air hostesses of jet airliners. So I'm talking about the time when if the plane went above 10,000 feet, you actually had to put an oxygen mask. She had parachuted many times and had piloted glider planes. She was a great role model in risk-taking and adventure for Richard Branson. So on this day, Eve Branson was driving Richard, her 6-year-old son, to his grandmother's house. And as she was driving, Richard was being naughty in the back seat, kicking and throwing tantrums and doing all sorts of things. What she did was to just stop the car, pull him out of the car and put him outside and tell him, you find your way to the grandmother's house. Now, this was somewhere about 3 to 4 miles still away from grandmother's house, but she just drove off. She didn't come back and look for him. And he said, for a 6-year-old me, it was quite scary, a very scary thought. And it was an iconic, symbolic moment, an experience of my mother's style of parenting. 30 years later, in 1991, when he was in a hot air balloon and it was trouble time, they knew that the hot air balloon was going to burst. It was trouble time. That same story played in his mind like he had been left on the road. He said what that moment taught me was to take control of my emotions and get the best out of myself to act in the right direction. So leave emotions, move into an action. He did just that. He managed to jump out, get his parachute out, and land to be able to survive. Now, why am I telling you this story? I'm telling you this story is whether it is children or whether it's your new team members, always try to put them in situations where they navigate the solution to problems they're facing themselves. Is the lesson I'm teaching myself all the time as well. Because the confidence and the ability to be able to navigate that they get through be able to solve the problem themselves never comes when we are constantly mothering around. So I hope you enjoyed that story. Stay storied, and I'll see you here next Saturday with another story.